And we are back now for what is shaping up to be the final series here of Group C. I remember, yeah, C. Of Group C, and potentially the final series of the night as well, depending on how everything goes. It is a TvT that we've got on our hands, but the good news is it is a qualifying match here. Vindicta going up against Bunny.
Yeah, here we go, the qualifying match, the final one of Group C. It all ends here for one of our players, and the other will advance on into that knockout bracket.
Yeah, who's it gonna be? It could be spawning over here in the top right-hand corner, spawning all the way in the top right-hand of Alcyone. We have our red Terran player coming out from the land of America itself, Captain America, according to my WTL pin that I have somewhere lying around. Representing himself, as he's currently teamless, we have Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny.
Yeah, showed us. Well, my memory is a little bit faulty, Light, but I do believe this is the first TvT that we're seeing tonight. Or at least the first one we're casting.
Yeah, we've had a couple of TvTs, but this is the first one that we're going to be covering here in the entire broadcast. The Terran versus Terrans are finally here, and we already have a bit of a deviation. Bunny going for a racked expand. This is a single gas opener, so a very economic variation out of Bunny. Vindicta going double gas though. He's going to be the aggressor. Bunny going to be the defender.
Indeed. Indeed he is. Even opting for that SCV scout. For that SCV scout, going across the map, just trying to make sure that he knows exactly what's coming his way. Believe he caught eyes on that factory, so that is already enough of a tell. He knows that Vindicta went for a double gas opener. He knows that he needs to stay safe back home to keep his workers and, more importantly, this expansion alive.
Exactly. So we'll see how this does pan out. We'll see how committed Vindicta is going to be as well. I'm sure you're fully aware. I think we were covering it ourselves, where TvT has kind of taken a different turn, and in recent times the meta has kind of shifted in favor of a more mass Cyclone style. Was I casting with you or with Asher? I can't quite recall.
The Cyclone style?
Yeah, like mass Cyclone.
I mean, mass Cyclone happens a lot now in this meta, so.
So
yeah, together.
We'll see if that is going to be the case here in this TvT. For now, the Reaper going to be dancing, but alas, Vindicta trying to catch Bunny off guard. Unable to quite get on top of that Reaper though. Bunny, he will manage to escape. He did dish a little bit of damage on this SCV, but it is going to be safe and sound. Vindicta, meanwhile, looking for that Reaper, but won't come across it.
Yeah, he has a Reaper advantage, so you best believe he's looking to make use of it.
Exactly, as Bunny does race back home. Behind this, Vindicta getting into his 1-1-1 setup here. We have the reactor on the racks, not on the factory, so we are not going to be reactoring out Cyclones. That is not going to be the case here from at least Vindicta. Meanwhile, from the side of Bunny, we are commencing Cyclone production. Again, Cyclones do have their place here in the early game of TvT. Players like Cure and Clem have been embracing reactored Cyclones quite heavily in this matchup. Looks like that's not what we're seeing here, at least not in game one.
Yeah, just safety Cyclone coming out from both of our players. Still plenty of time in this best of three, though, to embrace the chaos. I'm having a very vague memory of Cyclone v Cyclone happening pretty recently.
I think it was in
versus Kelliser.
I think we casted it in ESL Asia this week, if I'm not mistaken. But for now, we are just going to be settling into this, getting into our 1-1-1. We do have a Raven on the way alongside Interference Matrix. Likewise, the same can be said for Bunny as well. We can also see that Bunny is slightly ahead in the economy because of his opener. The pressure has been on Vindicta to try to find some damage here to try and make this worth his while. So far, he's been unable to get into a mineral line.
Yeah, which is a little bit worrisome from this build. Obviously, now that time has kind of passed, he's not quite able to dive into these mineral lines, especially in the natural base, but he's still looking to make use of his army. I do appreciate how he spread out his Widowmine and his Reapers just to get vision wherever he can, and at Hellion
Hey.
too.
Yeah, he has control of the Zonaga. You know, he's poised to scout any kind of move out. We do see Bunny going for a very greedy follow-up. Very fast third CC on the way from Bunny, hidden here deep in the main base. So, again, he's not really looking to be too aggressive, just being hyper greedy instead.
Yeah, on the other hand, Vindicta is really the player to be building up his forces. We do have a bit of a scan here in Bunny's main base, but it does avoid that third CC.
Yeah, he doesn't see the third CC, but he also sees a lack of additional production. That could be a tell as Vindicta, he's getting his third CC on location. Looks like, yeah, with that scan, he realizes how greedy his opponent is being, so he's going to try to meet that greed here with his own third CC timing. Bunny does get eyes on this, though, with that Raven Scout.
And we'll see if he's really going to be able to punish this one way or another. Again, pressure's not really on Bunny at the moment. The pressure is a bit more on Vindicta because he did opt for that double gas opening. He did try to open up a bit more aggressively, but so far it hasn't quite paid off for him. The Raven of Bunny will not quite be sniped. I say that, but we do have a Cyclone zoned away by the auto turrets.
Wow.
Big energy commitment, but when it's all said and done, Bunny keeps that Raven alive, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. As Vindicta, he pulled back with everything to keep his Ravens alive, but one more shot is all he needed from the Cyclone. That would have been a big moment for him, but Bunny, he does manage to escape here just barely by the skin of his teeth. And now we do see the pressure on Vindicta. He's going to be diving into the natural base, going to try and pick off some workers, but he's going to be shut down here. The Reapers don't achieve too much.
Yeah, it's only 2 Reapers against everything that Bunny has at the moment. Vindicta pushing out with the rest of his forces. Raven did get repaired a little bit, so yeah, it can take a couple of knocks. Vindicta has the more sophisticated army with these Vikings, but Bunny somehow has a higher army supply.
Yeah, Bunny, with the better economy, has the better army as well. He gets the first tank shot off as well, but we get the anti-out, so we get the disable on that tank, on the Ravens as well.
Yeah, only one interference matrix coming down here from Bunny. Only a single tank. Auto turret will deal with the forward tank that Bunny had earlier on. Ooh, not a good time to unsiege, as Bunny does scan, does confirm. Vindicta's backing off. And Bunny considered chasing it for a little while, but again, decides there's no real need for him to do so.
Yeah, as you're pointing out, again, Bunny with the higher army supply, with the better economy early on as well, already landing his third CC on location. Vindicta, he has to respect that he's going to be backing off. He does see the army of his opponent, is going to be able to siege up, and he should be able to get, yeah, a couple of tank shots off.
Yeah. He gets a couple of Marines, gets a little bit of splash damage, softens up those Marines.
He does no major damage yet, though, as both players are just establishing themselves on 3 bases, getting their production back up and running as well. And yeah, we're getting a pretty solid mid-game here between our players. Bunny, I would say, has a slight advantage overall. He's even in tanks. He's slightly behind when it comes to Vikings, but he has the even Raven count. So yeah, things are looking pretty similar here as we scan, and we do get eyes on the pickup.
Indeed we do.
I love the fake out.
Fake out.
Yeah, he loads up. He gets barely out of range of the scan, unloads as well, and you can see Vindicta, he's in position. He's looking for that drop.
Yeah, he's waiting. He doesn't realize that drop's not coming. Or is it?
We'll see. It's going by ground instead. Going to be scanning Vindicta, trying to get eyes on the 4th base. He's getting his own 4th base on location, so I do appreciate the Vindicta. He's getting a faster 4th here in general to try to catch back up, but can he keep up with the movement here? Because Bunny, he's shocking around. Honestly, with this pre-unload, he's looking for these Vikings. He's looking to maybe pick off Vikings or any kind of spotter depots as well. There is potential here with this marauding force from Bunny.
Yeah, Bunny doesn't quite catch the Vikings. Now he does, and if he can take him out early on, it's going to be very impactful when the fight does happen. Very quick reaction from Vindicta. Will pull away the second he notices the stim forward.
Yeah, at the same time, the 4th base has been spotted. Sensor tower is going to be going down, but Vindicta, he is in position. He does force back that army. This CC is going to finish the turret. The tower is going to be replaced. And Vindicta even looking for that double drop.
Yeah. Can he take it out, though? We shall see. He is the first to
Oh.
stim.
Yeah. First to stim, and he will be able to clean up this fight here. He does force the pick up as well. At the same time, here comes the main army of Bunny right through the center of the map.
Yeah, scans, confirms. Both players scanning to confirm their opponent's location, since the tower did get rebuilt here from Vindicta. So, yeah, Bunny will be seen no matter where he goes.
Yeah, the Ravens are going to be pushing on forward. A big anti-armor missile on the army of Vindicta, on the army of Bunny as well.
Yeah, a couple of interference matrix left over, though, for the Ravens of Bunny. So he will be able to entrench himself a little bit closer onto this position of Vindicta. Bunny's going to be losing quite a lot of his Marines, almost all of his Marines, but his tank line is still up and running.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tanks. Yeah, a lot of tanks are in position here. He's going to be pushing his way up this ramp as well. And Vindicta, he loses almost everything here. The tank count still looking very healthy, very solid for Bunny.
Yeah, we're almost at the point where Bunny's tanks are covering each other. He doesn't need Marines to buffer, the tanks are the buffer.
Exactly, as the tanks are pushing forward even closer here. Vindicta forced to pull all the workers off the mineral line just to repair, just to keep that base alive, and it looks like Bunny is snowballing out of control. Just too many tanks behind this, and he is looking to break this position.
Yeah, good spread of Marines here from Bunny, and there's not much else for Vindicta to really push back. GG's called. Bunny takes game number 1.
GG, well played. A solid push there from Bunny. All came down to one big fight, and he was able to catch Vindicta out of position, was able to disable those tanks, get up the ramp, and break that third base. It all just came down. It all built up towards that fight, and yeah, just one swift move. Bunny takes game 1.
Just like so. With that, you're going to be getting ready for game number 2. I was expecting a bit of a longer... some longer games coming out from our TvT, but I guess with how aggressive both Bunny and Vindicta have been known to be, and they are playing to what we remember them. They're playing as aggressively as we remember them being. Yeah, could be a bit of a shorter TvT on our hands.
It could be. I mean, if you remember, it all kind of led into aggression. That is true. But at the same time, we had some pretty economic openers, a pretty economic start here between our players. So we'll see if that's going to be the case as we load into a smaller map, as we load into Oceanborn.
Game number 2.
And we are getting into that second game, and oh boy, it does all come down to this here. We are on match points. Our Korean Terran is one game away from qualifying for the knockout bracket.
Indeed, he is. As we load into Oceanborn for game number 2, where we're here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left. We have our red Terran player coming down from the land of America. He is Captain America himself, according to my WTL pin, representing himself as he is currently teamless. Somebody please pick him up. We have Miguelito Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Mystery Gaming. One game away from qualifying for tomorrow's event, for tomorrow's knockout bracket. It is Bunny.
Un momento, por favor. Is on the mind right now.
Exactly. Un momento, as this time both players going for double gas.
Yeah. Both players not taking their chances. Neither of them really wants to open themselves up to any sort of potential vulnerabilities here on a very short rush to this map like Oceanborn.
Yeah. It can be really risky going for a Rax expand. You know, the likelihood of you being proxied is quite high. You know, proxy Raxes can shut you down if you go for something a little bit too greedy, a little bit too economic. So players just going to be scouting each other, do have the SV dipping in, and both players will confirm the factories that are on the way.
Indeed, both of them going to be heaving a little bit of a sigh of relief as they realize that their opponents are sane.
Yeah. And that they are doing the same thing as each other. So mirrored builds so far by both Vindicta and by Bunny. And we'll see if that does continue here as Reapers have hit the field. Bunny is the first to move out.
Yeah, shocking around on Oceanborn.
Yeah, he's going to be just checking his side of the map. Likewise, Vindicta did the same. We are not moving out with our first Reaper. If you lose your first Reaper, then things can very quickly escalate out of control because we have add-ons and, of course, CCs on the way. So both players are just playing this out very, very safely here as, oh, Bunny is going for an add-on swap. Meanwhile, Vindicta is going to be keeping his reactor on his racks.
Interesting choice. I was going to say, this means that Vindicta will have the Reaper advantage, but Bunny will have the Hellion advantage, but then I remember what patch we're on. We're getting some Cyclone shenanigans.
Yeah, we are in current era here, and Cyclones are on the way. Cyclones, they are quite powerful in the early game of TvT. They can, of course, take down and shut down additional Hellion and Reaper aggression. So, yeah, Bunny going for a pretty solid build here, a pretty solid opener of choice. Vindicta still hasn't realized this, and here come those Cyclones.
We'll be able to lock on and chase away these Reapers and this Hellion for the time being. Bunny looking to really stake a claim in the middle of the map here, being a little bit more open, being a little bit more active with his Cyclones. Really good use of the shrubbery here from Vindicta, though, able to immediately pick off the Reaper. Not the Cyclones just yet, and yeah, Buddy scouted the Widowmine just before it burrowed, so is able to avoid that.
Yeah, the Cyclones are going to be rocking up across the map here. They take down the army, they threaten the CC, and we have additional Cyclones on the way. We're just rallying everything across the map here. A couple of medivacs to help ferry the Cyclones into the main base, to go for some drop plates, to go for the mineral line. Vindicta, he's on the back foot.
Yeah, very much so. Rune's getting pretty badly bruised. Oh, unfortunate here for Vindicta.
Yeah.
Forced to cancel that orbital command. Forced to pick up and forced to evacuate, trying his best to get those repairs ready. Tank is now out and will be able to zone away the Cyclones, at least from the natural base, as, like you were mentioning, Bunny just ferries two of them into the main.
Yeah, and we're going straight for the mineral line. SCVs are going to be going down here, and Vindicta, he's just being pulled apart at this point. He barely has an economy to begin with, and now he's down 10 workers compared to Bunny.
Yeah, this is almost game ending. We did have a Raven sneak out here for Vindicta, so maybe a little bit of auto turret harass he will allow him to catch back up slowly but surely. Not a lot of defenses back home here for Bunny.
Yeah, with that, we do get one SCV kill. We do force them off the mineral line as well. Damage is being done, as you mentioned, but this still pales in comparison to what Vindicta has been sustaining here. Where do we go from here is the real question, as the Cyclones, they're back, and they clean up the Marines.
With a vengeance. Can't really dive on top of they can't really dive on top of that tank just yet, but it's still very impactful and very threatening to have these Cyclones in position.
It is, as we get two SCVs across the map. Meanwhile, Bunny, once again, he picks up another Marine. Here we're bleeding out too much. Vindicta bleeding out 9 Marines in total. The trades from Bunny have been insane, and he's going for the tank. Oh.
It is backup, though. Backup tank here to really support that. So Bunny is forced to pick up once again and back away, but damage has already been dealt. Bunny is still up 9 workers for the time being.
He's up in those workers. Do have some auto charge harass here across the map. Meanwhile, Bunny denying mining here at the natural base, shutting down the gas geyser. Marines are trying to come in, but they know they can't touch this, and the gas geyser goes down. Can we get the depot as well?
He's gonna try. Ooh. Not quite able to pick up out of there. Not with the Viking and not with the tank that was already sieged up. Vindicta has dealt with the initial harass, and now the pressure really is on him to get some counter damage done.
Yeah, bearing in mind as well that Vindicta, he is up in the tank count because of the constant Cyclone production here. Vindicta, he does have at least that advantage. He also has the Viking lead as well, so he has air control. but is that really going to be enough? Bunny, he has interference matrix. He has a disables available on these Ravens, so even though he's down in the tank count, he can still disable them and deal with them even against a higher number.
Definitely, as Buddy starts pumping out Vikings of his own. You do get a scan from Vindicta confirming where all the tanks are at, confirming how he, or allowing him to really gauge how he wants to approach this.
Yeah, exactly. As the tanks they try to lay siege upon this main base, it looks like we're going to be able to deny some of this production at least. Yeah, forcing a lift on some of these Raxes.
Yeah, zoning them away for now. A couple of SCVs from Vindicta do get moved into position for repairs and hopefully to be able to throw down bunkers or auto turrets if we get to that point. But yeah, considering the economic advantage that Bunny has, that doesn't seem too likely here for Vindicta.
Yeah, I mean, this positioning is going to be delaying the third CC, so he can maybe try to extend behind this, but here we go, Bunny. He's trying to break free. He commits.
Takes out the Raven, loses a Raven of his own, doesn't even need the interference matrix, throws out the auto turrets, and GG is called. Bunny will be moving on to the knockout stage. This was not how the TvT. I don't think any of us was expecting this to be how the TvT would go. Actually, one of our shorter series of the evening.
Yeah, definitely one of the more shorter series here. GG, well played. Congratulations to Bunny. I was hoping to see a little bit more of Vindicta. We saw him 2-0 Ryung, which was very impressive. We didn't get to see it, but we saw the score. Unfortunately, that wasn't quite replicated here, and Bunny will advance out of the group. Second place here. A laser in first, Bunny in second.
There we go. Both were players who made it to the upper bracket final, and yeah, Bunny having a bit of a second chance here in the lower bracket. Very aggressive plays coming out from Bunny throughout the entire evening. We weren't quite able to catch a series against Ryung. We weren't quite able to catch his series against Silky, but yeah, against Silky, but I wouldn't be too surprised if similarly he went for a couple of all-ins. He went for some very cheeky plays.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations to Bunny again. He had a very long journey over to Atlanta, over to the land of the Americas, and it is going to be worth his while here as he advances on in the tournament. My condolences to Vindicta, though, but he had an insane turnout here, taking down Shadown, taking down Ryung, and having a good series against a laser to kick off the bracket itself. Had, honestly, again, the best series here of the night. That was beautiful. Vindicta versus a laser at the start at the top of bracket C.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, that's potentially game of the year coming out very, very late in the year. But there's some contention going on now.
It was just a solid series, and yeah, definitely the best one that I would say of the night. It did go the distance. With that, we are wrapping up Group C or Bracket C, but I believe Bracket D is still underway, and we do have our final qualifying match here starting up. It is Hearthstone versus Scarlet in a rematch in the upper bracket. Hearthstone 2-0'd Scarlet. Now they're going to be having a rematch here in the lower bracket, as Hero Marine was the first to advance on. The only person to make Hero Marine bleed was Cham. Impressive there by Cham to be able to take a game. And I believe Scarlet and Hearthstone are in game 1, I believe. So we may be able to catch them in game 2 or even further.
Yeah. Try to catch them in the second game. Try to get that confirmation. Come down here. But yeah, we're going to be waiting a while, I imagine, for them to come out of game.
Yeah, exactly. I did see a lot of people in the chat asking about Scarlet. It is a shame that there was no second stream to cover Group D. We were fixated and prioritizing Group C. And I said it before, I don't regret it. Like, Vindicta versus Laser was amazing, and we would have missed out on it if we went for the lower group or Group D instead. So we did, of course, commit, did wrap up all of Group C, and now we can divert our attention to Group D. And again, we can hopefully catch a couple of games here towards the tail end of the group.
Oh, it looks like Winter is casting Harmlet. According to Thorn here in the chat. I like that. I like that name for their. I like that name for their potential rivalry? Question mark.
There
Hardwood.
you go. If that's the case, then I think we're going to be done because I believe the B stream gets priority, and I believe we can't really tread on their toes. So
Let me confirm that for you.
yeah,
Let me take a quick
I'm
little
just
look at the B stream.
yeah. It looks like Winter is in game 1 of Hearthstone versus Scarlet, so make sure you check that out. That does mean that we are done here for the night. It means that we will not be covering won't be covering that series.
Aw. Well, at least we'll be able to all gather around and enjoy the final game of the evening being played at ESL Masters Winter, held at Dreamhack Atlanta, not Montreal.
There you go. There you go. GG, well played. So I hope everyone enjoyed themselves here. Hope everyone had a great time. Pretty long broadcast here. It was, oh my god, time flew
Hold
by,
on,
almost 10
hold on.
hours.
Yeah, we need to stall for 15 more minutes so we can get that nice even 10.
Oh my god. I mean, there's a 2-minute delay, and then we're going to be cutting to like a break, I guess. But
There we
regardless,
go.
hope everyone enjoyed themselves here. It was a great turnout, a great tournament. It flew by. I didn't even realize it's been 10 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus. It
Neither
feels
did
like
I.
4. I could have kept going for
Well,
another 10.
That's mostly because we split it up into 2. It was 4 each.
I guess.
So, 4-ish each, so.
But yeah, with that, we may come back tomorrow. I say may, so we originally here on the CranKy Ducklings, we thought that we were only going to be covering day 1 and only the open stage. But just before we went live, we found out that no, we can cover the knockout bracket as well.
Yeah.
We can cover the knockout bracket tomorrow. So we can potentially jump on that. We can potentially dive on that tomorrow. The problem is that we are also going to be casting. I'm also going to be casting another event. I'm going to be casting the. Yaku's going to be in bed for the next week, mate. Like he's tapped out after this 9-hour broadcast. But we are going to be live in 10.5 hours time. I'm going to be live here on the CranKy Ducklings in 10.5 hours. So we're going to be casting the Euro Cup 2023 day 1. And depending on how long that is, that may actually overlap a little bit with Dreamhack Atlanta, with ESL Masters Atlanta. I'm going to be finishing up Euro Cup. And then when I finish that up, then we're going to be live on this channel with day 2 of ESL Masters Winter of Dreamhack Atlanta. And we'll be covering some of the knockout bracket.
Indeed, we shall. Gonna make sure that there is at least a little bit of coverage going on there for all of our favorites to get eyes on all of our favorites here.
Exactly.
All of your favorites, chat.
Yeah, again, our weekend is quite busy. We're going to be covering the Euro Cup day 1 and day 2. We're also going to be covering Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday as well. So plenty of StarCraft to come. Always here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're live, every day of the week. Sometimes multiple times a day of the week.
Yeah, we have confirmation. We've had more broadcasts this year than there were days.
Yeah, for those that are curious, you know what? Let's shamelessly plug ourselves a little bit here. I'll post a tweet in the chat. But we did actually post our Twitch stats, our Twitch summary of 2023, and let me just get you the direct numbers. Okay, we casted 470. We had 475 broadcasts in 365 days. That's over
a lot of broadcasts.
It's over 100 extra casts. Let's go. It's a lot of StarCraft.
It's all coming down together.
Exactly. And you know what? 2024, we're gonna beat that. Gonna do it more.
We're gonna go to 700.
Oh god. That's brutal. That's 2 broadcasts a day, Poppy. We could probably do it.
That.
I'd probably die trying, but we get it done. We almost reached. You know what? That's gonna be my goal. 500 casts. 500 casts in 2024.
There we go.
500 tournaments.
Yeah, there are more RTSs coming down in 2024. So
true.
We diversify.
Yeah, we can do it. We can get there. With that though, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Thanks so much for supporting us as well. Yaku, Thank you for joining me.
Yes.
For 10
You
wait,
too.
for those who don't know, I was only expecting Yaku to be here for the first half of 4 hours. After 4 hours, I was like, Yaku, you can tap out. You're good. And he's like, I'm fine. He's like,
I
yeah,
had a Thai Red Bull in a
I got
cooler
a,
bag full of gel packs.
I got
gotta
a
use
Thai
it.
Red Bull, in the chamber, man. I'm
Yeah,
good to go all night, Poppy. Let's go. Did you finish it?
I did.
Oh God.
And now I'm gonna
So
be asleep for a while.
there we go. The crash is imminent. Meanwhile, big shout to Kuro. You
Mhm.
didn't hear Kuro, but Kuro has been handling the production over on her end, making sure that everything is not catching fire and that everything is looking good. So yeah, thank you so much, Kuro. Thank you so much for being here and making sure that the show was able to run smoothly.
Yeah, lots of appreciation coming down here. Throw out some thanks Kuros in the chat with those channel points.
There we go. And yeah, with that, Yaku, do you have anything else you want to add before we head off for the night?
Yeah.
Head off?
Be sure to keep your beer in your beer and your Chevy in your truck.
There we go. The
USA.
true American. The true American way, mate. The true American way. Let's go. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy Dreamhack Atlanta. Again, we will be back tomorrow with day 2 of Dreamhack Atlanta. We won't be covering day 3. Day 3 will be handled by the mainstream, so enjoy Fear Dragon, Zombie Rotterdam, and all the other all the other casters covering the event as well. I'm sure it's going to be a blast.
It really, absolutely should be. Atlanta, something magical about this lost city.
Exactly. Under the sea. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.